Welcome back to today's forecast. We will be looking at more as to whether there will be expected across the plains for late this week and possibly into next week as well. The severe weather threat area will occasionally be shifting time to time, so it's not always going to focus here in the plains, but it will also focus in some other areas as well. Which we'll get to later in this video. So let's just get into that right now. In fact, so we can cover all any lingering severe weather threatened today. We would be expecting a slight risk for portions of southwestern Kansas and the Oklahoma and Texas panhandles, with a surrounding marginal risk for some of the southwestern plains, including western Texas, eastern New Mexico, southeast Colorado, and those areas. There is a lower threat of severe weather in the plains for day 2, which will get us kicking gear for what Friday's severe threat's going to bring. But we do have a moderate risk extending from Texas through Oklahoma and Kansas, and we also have one for the Nebraska Panhandle. It's largely a wind threat. It could possibly be some hail as well, along with for tonight's weather, but we're not expecting tornadoes until at least Friday. We do have that enhanced risk area from southeast Nebraska across northeast Kansas. We do have a slow risk up for Nebraska, southwestern Iowa, eastern Kansas, western Missouri, as well as central Oklahoma and northwest corner of Arkansas, north central Texas as well a little bit. And then we're also going to head into the weekend. We'll still see some weather here and there, such as here in southern Illinois, as well as eastern Missouri, northeast Arkansas, northwest Tennessee, southwestern Indiana, and western Kentucky. Again, we'll monitor these days for potential weather, especially this and Friday, but we could also be looking at some additional severe threats through the weekend, possibly early next week again as well. But this one in particular covers western Texas for Sunday. Monday's weather shifts further to the east across northeast Texas, southern Oklahoma, southwestern Arkansas, and northwestern Louisiana. We'll also see the future radar and this weather setup in mind. Heading straight into tonight's weather set, there could be some soup cells popping up across the southwestern plains. We'll also be looking at some daily weather here and there through early next week at the very least. Again, some isolated activity could pop up in some of the plains. Again, the threat that remains isolated, but then where the main threat we'll be looking at is Friday, which we do see again, a big weather setup, probably likely. This could mainly just end up being a night threat, as this model seems to indicate, Friday evening, where we do see the initiations of storms, Nebraska, Kansas, and heading, to the Missouri River area. This could dissipate with time as well. Saturday's a series that will, be targeting these areas again, but it could be lifting a little farther north up here as well if the warm front does get to these areas fast enough for that to occur. Sunday's severe threat is going to be over here. Again, it's looking like a Cyrus so far for this region, and then, looking at these cells, they're pretty insane if you have to ask. Monday's weather threat is going to be somewhere over here mainly. We could also see some storms across southeast if anything. So the threat's also there for that region. I feel like the severe threat on Monday would be more of a night threat, but there's going to be some more updates as we're still about a few days out for this specific day. But it's looking pretty confident that we'll see some kind of severe weather action across good portion of the country, at least mainly in the central portion of the country, for the next few days, to say the least. Now we're going to head into the severe weather setup so we can see what is exactly going to be going on and whether some that could also bust. So now we're looking at the instability map. We can see some that's streaming into as far as northeast Nebraska, although I feel like it's less likely up there. But continuing the Thursday's severe threat, they could see that it's really reached all the way across to northern Nebraska. Again, there could actually be potential for storms as far as as long as the ingredients are also there to actually allow for that. And then Friday is the real threat period. We do see tons of instability beginning to develop across the some central plains. Although the enhanced risk is also here, so that's where the main threat technically is. And you'll in a moment kind of see why. We can do see that there's a lot of instability going on in the plains there. We do see a noticeable dry line as well with that. This is situated across Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. Heading into Saturday, we do see the instability begin to get widespread across the southeast and also the Gulf Coast regions. And that could also be a pretty expansive area. We could see some sea weather. This is about Sunday's map. This is also something that we see covered across south in the Ohio Valley as well. As we do see this weather pattern continue across the southeast for quite a while. This is just what the one model shows for all of this going on. Could be quite a while before we get a break. But it doesn't guarantee there'll always be serious storms in some of these regions for quite a while. But there seems to be tons of instability each day. But we're also just gonna go on to the other maps, see what they have in mind. Again, so the storms will be firing areas. We do see an increased amount of shear, as well as possibly in these regions, but also just Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas for tonight. Again, storms are more likely to form in an environment. We do see enough shear for this, so like over here where we start to see those increase in the shear values for Thursday, and then also seeing that noticeably on Friday where we do see the enhanced weather threat across the plains, specifically in eastern Nebraska, Kansas areas. Again, that's also mixed with a decent amount of shears, but I feel like the severe threat may focus a little more to the south for these regions than what the outlooks currently show. Saturday's severe threat's going to be more like over here, as the outlook seems to indicate, so I'm in pretty good agreement with that. Sunday, it's also going to be more over here because also with that greater combination of instability and shear overall full days that we've been pointing out, that's also where the looks generally seem to be on point with where that combination is going to be occurring. That's where we're most likely to see the severe weather evolve. And yeah, we'll also be looking at some of the dew points as well, see how far Gulf moisture could get, and whether or not any severe that could get pretty far to the north. So of course, of the dew points, we're going to be seeing a ton of Gulf moisture eventually affecting the central United States. This will be a gradual process, however, but we could see that overall as far north as the upper plains, specifically Nebraska, Iowa, and possibly the Illinois-Wisconsin border for all of that 60 degrees at least for dew points. We can all see that moisture overall going really far to the north. As you can see those greens reaching really close to the border, in fact. And this could be going on for quite a while, if anything, for the south. And we can see a ton of Gulf moisture linger there until something comes and pushes that out of the way for now. But that even if that happens, that won't be for long, because that's probably just gonna come back up. Because knowing that we're now actually in May, even though it's overall for many areas it's been cool, and it might just stay this way for many areas as well. That would be such as for northern U.S. where there could be slowing snow through early May for some areas, but most of them will be dealing with cooler weather, maybe some rain as well. But again, we're looking at a severe threat as far north as some of the areas in the Midwest. And also, again, of course, in the Central Plains. Other than that, if you enjoyed this forecast, please do consider subscribing, like this video, and more importantly, sharing this forecast with others so they get this important information. And have a good day and stay safe out there.